God bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Stugotz.
What about Mikey A?
Oh, yeah, Mikey A. God bless football, Mikey A.
You threw me off, man.
We're getting right to it today,
Right.
and I couldn't see Mikey A. And Stugotz has an energy about him.
I do?
Yeah, it's 5 in the
that.
afternoon.
He won the bye week.
I know, my flight just landed.
Late
If
flight.
I look like hell, that's why. My flight just landed at 3 this afternoon. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, let me say, God bless football, Stugotz.
God bless football to you, Mikey A. Mikey, the Jets won by not playing. How about that?
Won the bye week.
Yes.
The off season in the bye week, undefeated.
Yep, we had the Dolphins lose to the Eagles last night. Yeah. We had the Bills losing to the Patriots yesterday. The Bills have now lost to Zach Wilson and
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Thank you, Mikey A. I told you my flight just got in. So it was a good day for the Jets just by not playing, just by sitting around on their couches. That's when the Jets are most effective, when they don't play. But Billy,
Mac Jones looked great yesterday.
He did. He looked really
back.
good.
He's fixed.
What do you mean he's back?
He's back. He's fixed.
But you have to be there before you can come back. Like, was he ever there?
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
He's back. He's back to Alabama, Mac Jones.
Time out. Okay, let's get bogged down in semantics on a Monday, okay?
Yeah.
Mac Jones never arrived, so how could he be back?
Because there was always the expectation that he would be there. He was drafted high. There's like Mac Jones. He's going to be the next thing.
Right.
And then it was he was benched like a couple times this year.
Yeah.
Right? But he's back.
Well, not this year. Throughout his career for Bailey Zappi, he was benched.
No, this year he's been benched like 3 times already. They take him out in the middle of the game.
All right, so he's back.
Yeah.
You're right. I stand corrected. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Belichick's 300th win.
I know. You have to subtract. How many wins did he have with Tom Brady?
You have to subtract all of those?
Yes.
Well, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that?
Well, because he didn't win those games. Tom Brady won those games.
Did you see the report by Ian Rappaport that like very quietly came out just before games started yesterday? So
No.
Bill Belichick, in secret, this offseason, signed a quote-unquote lucrative extension with the Patriots.
Right.
He's going nowhere. They can't fire him. He just signed an extension with them in the offseason. Then they ask him about it. He's like, I don't publicly talk about my contract situation.
That was a good Belichick. Right?
Here's my dog. I like lacrosse.
So he's not going anywhere?
He's not going anywhere. He can't.
But maybe he moves like to a, upstairs position off the field, not coaching anymore. He can do that, right?
Well, why would they,
Well,
okay.
he's a pretty terrible GM.
Let's say
point.
let's say theoretically, right, that he gets paid $10 million a year. Because he gets paid like a boatload of money, right?
Yeah.
So let's say he gets paid $10 million a year. You think they're just gonna move him out of the coaching role to be some figurehead in the organization for that salary?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could buy him out, I guess.
How do you guys feel about that lighthouse that they built there at their stadium?
I didn't hear the question because Fuentes was telling me that Brad Stevens did the same thing as Belichick.
And he's in Boston. It's a really bad joke, but it's just a lighthouse.
It wasn't worth me not hearing Billy's question.
How do you feel about that lighthouse?
Billy's
that
question
they built
wasn't that
there?
great
Yeah.
either, to be honest. Talking about a lighthouse.
Jeez. I mean, what's going on here?
I don't know. I mean, Fuentes. calm
Lighthouse
down.
at the stadium. Who cares?
God, okay. What do you want to talk about today, Mike Fuentes?
I mean, there's a lot. I want the officials from last night's game investigated.
Right.
I don't want to be that show.
I don't want to be that show
I don't
either.
want to be that guy. I don't want to be the Dolphins lost because the officials were terrible.
Yeah,
they
but-
were terrible, but
Yeah, Tirico taking a victory lap because the Eagles had 0 penalties was hilarious. It's like, oh, they have no penalties. What a disciplined team. It's like, yeah, well, you're going to have 0 when they're not called.
well, I mean, it's a fair point.
You're beefing with Mike Tirico?
I missed Kevin Harlan so much last night. You have no
he's so
idea.
good,
Really?
Harlan.
Yeah, Tirico, he's a legend and everything, but Harlan's Harlan.
Let's go to Mikey A real quick because I think he got duped by the internet. I think he got tricked because he's getting old, and it's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
Explain what happened with Mike McDaniels, what his supposed Twitter accounts.
So this is early in the morning this morning. I was on Twitter and I happened to come across a bunch of videos in a thread that talked about how bad the officials were, and the account was at Mick McDaniel.
Right.
I thought it was the actual Mike McDaniel
Okay.
early this morning.
Right. Dangerous game looking at Twitter early in the morning, you know? When
Well,
you're still groggy, yes.
It's verified also, has the blue check mark, which is confusing now. And the picture, if this is the same account, which I think it is, has him dressed up as Scarface, which would probably give away that he wouldn't wear that suit, but maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't be.
How often do you look at the picture on Twitter?
Look, I'm with you. If you think that a head coach is kind of losing it and just tweeting out a bunch of crazy stuff, you want to run with it. So I get it.
So what did Mick McDaniel have to say?
He posted a bunch of videos of missed calls and calls that shouldn't have happened in the game. And I was like, oh, that's one way to go about it.
Right. So it's accurate information from a bogus account.
Well, it's a whole thread of like videos pointing out calls that Mick McDaniel did not like.
Right.
Yeah.
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 How'd you feel about the refs?
Was that Fuentes?
No.
No,
it wasn't.
I should have.
How'd you feel about the refs, Billy?
How did I feel about it?
Yeah, like I know you don't want to be that show. You don't want to blast the referees. You don't want to make excuses for the Dolphins. That game was 17-17 in the second half.
Well, I mean, so the way that I don't know, you were traveling, so I don't know if you saw how it got to 17-17. So there was a play that was a very clear like face mask on the defense where they just threw the receiver down to the ground that wasn't called, and then it was a turnover on downs a play or two later.
I think it was Cedric Wilson, right?
Yeah, and then there was it was a crazy tipped ball that landed right in a Dolphins defender's hand, run back for a touchdown, making it 17-17. I mean, it wasn't as one-sided of an affair, I think, as people want you to believe that it was. So I think there were some positives from yesterday's game that you could take away if you're a Dolphins fan.
Like?
Well, they hung in there with the Eagles. If I was the Eagles, I was talking about this earlier with Stugotz in the makeup room.
Yeah.
If I was the Eagles, I would just do the tush push every single play.
Right.
Yeah, because they really get like 3 yards every time.
3-4 yards at a time. You never give the other team the ball. Mm-hmm. Why even do anything else?
Billy was right. I mean, Jalen Hurts is a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
By the way,
he didn't look fantastic. I mean, A.J. Brown looked amazing. But anybody who gets defended by Cater Cody looks amazing.
Watch out for that knee brace that he wasn't wearing during the game, but he was wearing towards the end of the game. There's something there with Jalen Hurts and that knee. Keep an eye on that one.
Wait, so you want to...
Somebody's pushing his tush too hard?
You have to think that at some point that will take a toll on his body, right? It has
to. On his tush, yes.
I mean, well, on his knee, apparently. Keep an eye on that knee. I know I keep touching my eye.
You won't be able to sit later in life.
My pen exploded somehow in my hand, so when I'm touching my eye, I have ink all over my hand.
Right, but why are you touching your eye? To keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it.
And what exactly are we keeping an eye on? Jalen Hurts' knee.
That knee brace. Keep an eye on it.
He might be Hurts.
Wow.
What happened?
Kirsten through the soundproof glass, laughed so hard at that terrible joke.
Is it a terrible joke?
We could hear it through. It was a terrible joke. We could hear it through the glass.
Wow. Thank you for laughing. And for being the only one that laughed.
I mean,
I appreciate it.
Geez.
So you're not going to blame the referees for last night's... because that was the game of the weekend. Everyone was looking forward to it. Dolphins, Eagles. So you're saying the Dolphins can... at least walk away from that game, because here's the conversation today, Billy, for the Dolphins. Okay, like if you're listening to local radio in Miami, okay, the Dolphins have beaten the Patriots, the Broncos, the Chargers,
here we go with this,
the Giants, the Carolina Panthers, and lost to the Bills and the Eagles. Listen,
I didn't know they wrote their own schedule.
I'm a week removed from saying the Dolphins are the best team in the NFL, but. Football happened yesterday, and the Dolphins lost to the Eagles. So I'm not certain you can walk away with that many positives.
Yes, you can. You can walk away from positives. That game was completely different than the Bills game. The Bills game, they didn't have a shot. They were blown out right away in the Bills game. Yesterday, it was a competitive game against the Eagles. Now, you could say that the Eagles haven't played their best football yet, and the Eagles are coming off a loss against the Jets. So the Eagles haven't looked great. But they had a decent game yesterday. It wasn't as bad as you would think. And that whole thing with they've only beat these teams with these records is something that NBC was doing all day long, which I didn't understand at all, because it's like, do you not want anyone to watch this game tonight? Like, why are you coming on here and you're just crapping all over? And also,
devaluing your product was a weird strategy.
Well, I think my guess is what they were trying to do is like, are the Dolphins amongst the elite in the NFL? You know, trying to build the hype that way, which is a weird way to build it.
Here's another thing.
I'm with you guys on that.
Here's another thing that I didn't understand yesterday: the whole Jalen Hurts Tua thing, where they like want them to hate each other, but they also want to ask them like they're friends. I feel like if I was Jalen Hurts, I would hate Nick Saban, right? Like you could be bothered by Tua or whatever because Tua comes in and he replaces you, takes your job, you have to transfer out.
Right.
But like Nick Saban is the villain in this story, correct?
Well,
If you're Jalen Hurts.
why?
Because he's the one that makes the call. No, he's the one that made the call that replaced you with Tua.
It was the right call for everyone. For Tua.
Yeah,
for
but
Jalen
Tua didn't
Hurts.
replace him. Nick Saban replaced him with Tua.
That's what I'm
There's a
saying.
difference.
I understand, but he was desperate.
Yeah.
He needed to, and it turned out to be the right call because Tua, I think, eventually won that game for them. Jalen Hurts went on to Oklahoma and actually became a better quarterback, like a more NFL-ready quarterback. But you're right. If you're going to blame someone in that equation, it's Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts and Tua love each other.
No, I don't know about that. I didn't
Tarico went out of his way on the broadcast to be like, they're not best friends.
What was
Yeah.
Tarico? Suddenly Tarico was opinionated?
It was weird. I was missing Al Michaels yesterday. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
I was like, God, I'm longing for Al.
I like Tarico too. I don't know why. I was just like, I couldn't stand him yesterday.
Well,
I have
because
no idea.
here's the thing is that it
Because
was
you
your
lost.
team.
I
Your
guess,
team
yeah.
was losing.
If
You
they would've won, I
didn't
would've
like
loved them.
any of what was going on yesterday. There wasn't like a moment that was super positive, I don't think, in the game yesterday if you're a Dolphins fan. But I could be crazy. It did not feel like the Bills lost.
Okay.
The Bills lost. It didn't feel like they were close to the Bills. Where with the Eagles, it didn't feel that way yesterday.
That Bills game was close. I mean, the Patriots had to put together a final drive to win
No,
that
I'm talking
game.
about the Dolphins.
He's saying the
game.
Dolphins got
Yeah,
it.
the Dolphins lost to the Bills.
Game. Okay, got it.
No,
All right.
yeah, the Bills lost
early in
against
the
the
afternoon.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like we were watching, I had like this family thing. It was like this whole harvest. It was. We don't need to get into it, but we had the Bills game on, the Bills Patriots game, and someone asked a good question like, why can't the Dolphins just do that against the Bills? Why are the Patriots doing this against the Bills and the Dolphins can't? Are the Dolphins good? It's like, I don't have an answer to that. Can't answer that. I was feeling yesterday, guys, something that Mike Golick has been telling us for months, and I wish that he was here to talk about it.
Right.
I just wanted that game to start. I know that Mike Golick was talking about it as a player, and he does Sunday night, so he's used to it.
You get antsy.
I
Yeah.
couldn't do the whole waiting around all day for Sunday night situation. I hated it.
Right.
Absolutely hate it. It took a toll on my body. I was off during that game.
Really?
Yeah, I was off. They didn't get my best.
You're used to cheering at 1 o'clock. They force you to cheer at 8:20. You felt a little bit off, huh?
Sunday night is for like Netflix and hanging out and like stuff. I don't want to be stressed about
Sunday night's for prepping for this show.
that too. I gotta go to sleep early. The game ends at 11. It's like, oh great, already 6 hours of sleep. What do I do now? You know?
Yeah.
I prep for the show by taking a flight.
Yeah.
How about that? God bless football, Billy.
Stugotz, I have sad news.
What?
No Lucy or Goosey today.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Lucy's not here. She went Hollywood. And by she went Hollywood, I mean she went to LA to cover a college game and she's not back yet. And
Okay.
I figured it was not good form to ask her to wake up at 4 in the morning to do, 2 in the afternoon to
Did
do
you
this
ask
with
her,
us.
though? I mean, did you ask her?
No,
'Cause
I
she
didn't.
probably would have done it. If you
Yeah, but
asked
I
her.
don't want, yes, but I don't want
That's
to
why you
be-
didn't ask her.
Exactly. I don't want to be
Right.
that person that's like, can you get up at 4:30 in the morning and do something
Sure.
with us? Because that's a pain.
Mm-hmm.
But I have good news for you, bad news for the audience.
What's that?
We've replaced Lucy in this segment with Tony. Tony's
Yes.
here.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
God bless football, boys.
God bless football, Tony.
We should have done Lucy or Goosey with Tony.
We can do Tony or Woney.
Let's do it.
Tony or Woney.
Yeah,
There's gotta be
will
a
this
better name for
quarterback
that.
Do Tony
No,
or
there's-
Woney?
I mean, it could be won't he, and that's
No,
like.
I think what
Yeah.
Billy wants to do is the actual college football segment just with a different
Just with
person.
me? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I would like to discuss college football because college football is, a big thing, and it's, if you think NFL and college is half of the equation is college football, and I have some notes on college football, but I am wondering if anyone watched college football and if we should actually talk about it, or if we're just going to be going in circles.
So I was at a wedding on Saturday.
There we go.
Yeah.
And I was, a groomsman, so I was doing a lot of groomsmanly duties.
What does that
Taking
mean? The day
taking
of, there's no
pictures.
duties.
You know how it is, taking pictures. You got to go here, you got to go there.
Yeah.
Fix
Part
his
of the
bow
photo
tie,
shoot,
kinda,
right.
that whole
Yeah.
thing. So I was doing that and then half watching UFC too because we had that dilemma last week. But I saw the Canes game, big Canes dub, right?
Was that
Anybody?
a big Canes dub?
No?
That's what everybody. I had people that were at the game. They're like, "Oh, it was such a great game to go to." It's like, it took you 2 overtimes to beat Clemson.
We should
who's not very good.
We should remind people that the curse of God bless football is back. We had Mac Brown on the show.
That is
last
one of my
week.
notes. Yeah.
It's back.
And Carolina proceeds to lose a game they had no business losing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mac.
It's back more than Texas.
Wow.
Should we actively start going after people we actually want to curse? knowing that we have a
Think it'll
curse.
work that way? Like
I
if
don't
you go
think
out to
so.
The people that you want to curse, and they actually do better.
Well,
That's
it
the
worked
curse
with
gear?
it worked with Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman because when we had Marcus Freeman on, he lost like every time we had him on, which is
Yes.
great. And it was great because it would agitate Golick. Guys, here
We
I have
got Frank Reich fired. I mean, we did. I feel
well,
like we did. We just kept
that is
pressing.
that is actually probably fair. Here's the thing about that I was kind of curious. So Frank always wanted to come back, and I was like, why do we keep having him back on?
Yeah. Well,
And I know it's not a polite question to ask, but
we haven't had him on this year, right? So
no, we did. We had him on once since he went to Carolina.
we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, but in the offseason.
Yeah, it was the
Okay,
offseason.
so he's getting himself fired this year.
So the 0-6 isn't your guys' fault. At least we can.
Well, you could argue that it is because we had him on in the offseason. So, but not having him on hasn't resulted in any wins either. So
That's true.
maybe it's Frank.
So you're wondering aloud if any of us watch college football here, and we host a show called God Bless Football.
Yeah, and you've proven to make me have my concerns be validated, I think, so
Right.
far, because it seems like no one paid any attention. I have a stat for you guys.
Well, I think Tony tried to steer you in a direction he was more comfortable going.
Yeah, he wants to
which
talk
was
about weddings and UFC, but
No,
this isn't
no, he
called
wanted to
God
do
Bless My
quarterback.
Wife
I
was an
watching
officiant
the
at a
Canes,
wedding.
which
So
he
what
did
are we
a great
supposed to
job,
do
by the
here?
way.
Right.
Did an incredible job.
What was the lame name of the segment you want? Tony or what?
Tony or Woney?
Tony or Woney. I think he wanted to do it with quarterbacks. That's what he was trying to tell you.
Yeah, we could do that.
With college quarterbacks?
No, God, no, with NFL quarterbacks.
Well, you see, so this doesn't help. Can I say something? A note from this college football weekend.
Yes.
So we thought that we had a big one between Penn State and Ohio State. Mm-hmm. God, that was a yawn fest.
Yeah, it was.
I hope neither
that was
of them
terrible.
neither of them make the playoffs. I know that that's not going to be the case.
Why?
God,
No, it very well could be the case.
it was a horrendous game.
But it could
God,
be
it
the
was
case.
so boring.
Well, Michigan still has to
I don't
play
know
Ohio
who was
State.
calling the game.
Right.
I don't know who was calling the game, but even they said neither of these teams is beating Michigan.
It
Right.
was so bad. That game was terrible. If the option that you have is let me switch over to Oklahoma and UCF,
Right.
Oof.
and you're two
was a good
top
game.
10 teams,
Yeah.
horrible game.
Oklahoma?
No, Penn State and Ohio State.
No, I know it was a horrible game, but I don't think you have to work. Like, Ohio State could very well not make the playoff if they lose to Michigan. So I think you're fine. Like, I know your concerns. You don't want your playoffs
I never
ruined by
want to.
teams that
I
can't play
never want to watch
offense.
Ohio State again this year. Never again.
That's the 7th straight time James Franklin has lost to Ohio State. Penn State never beats Ohio State. And he said after the game, I'm not certain you didn't see the two best teams in the country play one another. That's so great.
And it's crazy because I love watching Marvin Harrison play, right? He's such a
He's great.
dynamic player
what
on the
game
outside.
was he watching?
Well, I'm saying as a player.
Yeah.
Like, I love watching Marvin Harrison because he's just so much better than everybody
He
else.
was great in that game, by the way.
And it's like this Ohio State team usually has a good quarterback. Look back at their last couple of guys, C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
And it's like, wait a second. Why does this guy suck?
Yeah.
Why is the quarterback not good?
Right.
Just throw Marvin Harrison the ball.
Harrison had 11 catches, 162 yards, and a touchdown.
And,
so-
and a bad game.
right.
Right off the top of your head.
Right. Listen, man.
Incredible.
Studies, dude.
Hey,
God bless football.
Watches the tape.
Just broke it down.
I have a stat for you guys if you
The all
want it.
22.
Do you want to know the stat?
Yes.
Well, I guess it's not so much a stat as it is a fact.
Right.
Ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Bo Nix made his 54th career start, the most ever by an NCAA quarterback.
If we break that down in seasons, how many seasons is that?
18.
5 seasons?
You know who's right behind him?
Straight
37
11-game seasons?
You know who's right behind him with 53 starts?
Who?
Hartman.
Oh, really?
So it's going to go back and forth between him and
I'm
Hartman.
shocked
for the
that
rest of the
Hartman does
season.
not have more starts than everyone.
Me neither. but,
Combined.
yeah, I saw the graphic and I was like, oh, we're going to hear about this now all year between Bo Nix and him.
Fuentes,
Right.
can you see what year they started playing college football?
I know that-
Because it feels
that
like
Bo-
2016.
I know that Bo Nix's first college start was against Justin Herbert, and Herbert's been in the league for 3 years.
No way.
Did you
Yeah.
see-
Wasn't
Yeah, yeah.
Bo
Wait,
Nix a teammate of Cam Newton at
Yeah,
one
There's
point?
no way.
I think so,
That
yeah, something
can't
like
be
that.
true.
I'm pretty sure,
Wait a
yes.
minute.
There's no way, Mike.
That cannot be possible.
That's
Cam
impossible.
Newton was-
Called for 12 years?
So-
You
no,
got
like
that from Mickey McDaniel or whatever?
the Cam Newton thing's a stretch, but I know for a fact he played against Herbert.
Cam Newton's 34 years old.
That can't be right.
Yes.
2011.
So is Bo Nix.
No.
No,
Bo,
wait.
Bo Nix was not on the same team as Cam Newton.
We really need to do something.
I love this.
Football
We
is
really
fun.
need to do something about our editorial board here where the internet, Mikey. Cam Newton was in the NFL in 2011. That was 12 years ago. There's no
That's
way.
the best part.
It's not real.
Sure it is.
His first year at Auburn was 2019.
There's no way that can't be true either. though.
Cam Newton was winning a Super Bowl.
It had to be later. Is that what you're
It
saying?
had to be later. There's no way it was 19. It had to be like 14 or 15 at least.
Lucy's not here, so we would normally do this and probably delight in her suffering this. That Iowa game.
Yeah.
How do you have a punt run back for a touchdown and then called off and say that the punt returner was calling for a fair catch?
I mean,
that seems like an instant call that is made. Not you let the play out. They score the touchdown. They essentially win the game.
Right.
And then you're like, nah, never mind.
You kind of know pretty quickly if somebody calls a fair catch.
Did that look like a fair catch to you?
I don't know.
it did not to me. It didn't to me.
Did he kind of give a big wave, or was it like a little
seemed
tiny
more
wave?
like he was pointing defenders like to get him a lane.
Okay.
And they decided that was a fair catch.
Oof.
Ran it back for a touchdown.
Right.
Then they call it back, and the score ends up being 12-10.
Terrible game, by the way.
Horrible.
My buddy.
I love that they called it back, though.
It's great.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
It's like Iowa, they score a touchdown.
The stones on that guy, bro. The stones on that ref to be like, you know what?
It's like the lone touchdown.
Guy's been suffering all day watching field goals or whatever
Right.
else the hell they do over
Right.
there.
You think he let one pass?
Throws that flag quick. Get out of here.
Let one slide. Oh, that's so funny.
My buddy in the groomsmen party was like, hey, I want to lay a couple bets. We put a parlay together, and he's like, what do you think about the Iowa under? I'm like, brother, just slam the under. I don't care what it is.
It's a lock.
It's under.
Yeah, but it's going to get to a number where, like, it's going to be like 22. And you're
like
going to
a
be
10-9
terrified to
game.
take it, you know?
Bet it.
Wait, Mikey, can you look this up? If the under for every Iowa game was 25 points this year, how many times
Would it be
would the
over?
under cover? Yes, I want to know. You got to check through the scores there.
Stugotz, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So Alabama came back and they beat Tennessee. It was kind of close for a little bit, but they ended up winning by 2 touchdowns.
Right.
So they have now moved up in the rankings and they're at 9.
Of course.
Are they going to get back in this thing?
Billy, you know the answer to that.
Well, I don't think that they are.
They've only got one loss, but the thing is they still have to play the SEC championship game. They still have to play Georgia, too, right? Did they play Georgia this year?
Well, no, they'll have to play Georgia in the SEC championship game.
But I know
would
did they change the divisions? Like, didn't they get rid of the divisions and everybody? Oh, no, that's the ACC, that they're all playing together.
Yeah. Why did the ACC? Did they have people leave?
No, I don't think so.
Then why would they get rid of the 2
They
divisions?
just switched it up, I think.
Yeah.
I'm checking out the SEC right now. No, they'll have to play Georgia. I think Alabama's going to be, well, a bully. They'll have to beat Georgia and win the SEC to get to the college football
Right.
playoff. But I'm not ruling that out because Georgia has not looked great the entire year.
I'm not.
They just haven't.
I'm not a fan of Washington.
So Georgia's in the East, Alabama's in the West. They will play each other, but LSU still has to play Alabama. LSU is really good. If Jaden Daniels, if LSU was undefeated, he would be the front runner for the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
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 But
they're not.
Their coach.
Right. What do you mean their coach?
Their coach, Brian Kelly, just.
Boudreaux Kelly?
Yeah, just for me, like, I don't like Brian Kelly. I don't know what it is. He's just, for me,
No
he's
one
not a good
does.
coach.
I could do without him.
What do you mean?
He's not my favorite. I could do without him.
When was the last time you thought about Brian Kelly?
Well, so we talk about Brian Kelly a lot to
That's a great
spite
question.
Mike Golick. So we do cover a lot of Brian Kelly for whatever reason. It's kind of annoying.
It felt like you were like somehow connected to Brian Kelly, and you're like, if I just didn't have him in my life, it'd be great. I feel like you never think of Brian Kelly ever.
It's fair. I don't given weeks will go by where I don't think about Brian Kelly.
Me too. Like,
Yeah,
there's
but-
been a whole month where I've been like,
Years will go by.
No, that's not true. Years won't go by because Brian Kelly always do something that he'll get us
he'll do
sent
the
back.
family, which was
Yeah.
great. I love that. I thought about that for quite a while.
Brian Kelly's good for getting himself in the news at least once a year. So I don't think I've had years of my life go by without Brian Kelly since.
Right. I checked the Iowa schedule, by the way, Mikey A. The last 2 games, if the under was 25 and you took the under, you would have won.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
So I have a team for us to root for.
Iowa?
James Madison.
The Dukes.
Oh, I love James Madison.
Do you?
Well, I bet him I do Stugotz. I put him on the slate every single week. You don't pay attention.
You put everybody on the slate.
I do pay
I do.
It's like Brian Kelly. He's not paying attention.
I do.
Do you know what you did this past week in Stugotz?
Oh, are we doing this now?
Yeah.
Should I save the sound to play for you? I can play the sound for you, but I'll just tell you what it is.
Did
that
I do
you
a
did.
game for? Oh, go ahead.
You took Iowa. You bought Iowa down from 3.5 to 3.
Yeah.
They would then be favored by 3.
Yeah.
You said that they win the game, they win by a field goal, which would be a
They
push.
cover the spread.
Yeah, they cover the spread. You bought them down to push instead of just betting against them, which is the
Amazing.
strangest thing. Yeah,
You
lost
lost
that
taking the
game
under.
too.
Yeah.
Stugotz is doing this thing where it's
Like
not great,
Stu.
Tony, where he's chasing already, where he's doing like 11 games a week, just hoping
I need
that
a
we
10
start
and 1.
hitting and catch up.
What is he at right now? Do you have the
10-1.
updated score?
Okay, so I can tell you what he did this week. This week was not a good week.
It was not
the
a fine
thing
week
is
for
that
me.
he'll do like 11 games, but he'll do 11 games and then still finish like a game under 500.
So it just never catches him up.
He's never catching up, and he's just picking a million games for the sake of picking games and not catching up.
It's not for the sake. I'm fishing for a 10-1. That's what I'm doing.
But you're not going to get the 10-1.
I know. Well,
unfortunately.
But you're either going 10-3 or 7-8.
Yeah, I gotta get down to like 5 games.
Last week he went 3-5, which wasn't good, obviously, for the overall record. And let's see what he did this week.
The overall record's pretty good, though.
Not in college. No, the overall record is
it's above 500.
No, not in college. You went 4-5-1 this week, which again,
that's terrible.
Not bad.
Blaine Gabbert.
But we're like 12 under every week. You're like 8 or 9 under for the year. It doesn't matter. Stanford Steve had another rough week. Oof, poor guy. Anyways, back to James Madison for a second. 6-0. They're ranked 25th, ineligible for a bowl game this year.
Why?
Because there's a rule, I guess, under the NCAA where you make a transition from FCS to FBS.
Right.
You have a 2-year transitional period. And they're in year 2 of this transition, so they're ineligible for bowl games, even though they're 6-0 and they're ranked.
So they're good, but they can't play in a bowl game because they are too good for what they were.
The craziest thing, and their team, like their coach, petitioned the NCAA so they would be eligible, and they're like, nah, can't do it. Yeah. So the only way that they may make a bowl game this year is if there's not enough eligible bowl teams, I believe.
That's impossible.
It's the craziest thing.
There's so many bowls.
What I'm hoping happens is that they go undefeated and we have a UCF situation where James Madison is claiming to be national champion. Yeah.
They should do that.
Yep.
That's what I'm hoping happens.
Yes.
I know where James Madison is. I don't think Mikey A knows where James Madison is. Where is James Madison exactly? Like Virginia or something?
Virginia.
Well, yeah, you just gave away the answer.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. No,
Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know 100%.
He said he knew.
I knew.
He
Yeah.
didn't know if Mikey
He
A
said he
knew.
knew.
And
He
it turns
didn't
out
know.
nobody
He
You
did.
said you
idea
didn't know
what's
if I
going
knew, just because I think Bo Nix is 35.
That's great. That was
Play
crazy.
with Cam Newton. I have good news. Your partner, post-game show every Sunday night on YouTube, on the LeBatard
That's
YouTube
right.
channel.
Sunday Night Live.
Sunday Night Live. Juju is going to join us next.
Ooh.
We have a pissed off Juju Gotti because we asked him to join us. He woke up at 7:30. He did not have to wait. Well, it's the afternoon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He woke up late this afternoon. He woke up way too early, and he's mad that we made him wait around.
Well, Tony got here late, so I don't want to.
Oh,
I don't want
it's
to
my
point
fault
fingers,
now.
but Tony was just strolling in here really late, and then he said the train was
We are
on
not a
time.
package deal. We are not a package deal.
I know. I'm sorry about that, but we were just
Right.
waiting
I live in
around
Atlanta.
for Tony to get started. We didn't even start the show without him today.
So it's my fault?
Yeah, I mean, he was complaining about train times. The train's on a track. It gets there on time. Don't worry about
I
that.
wish.
Anyway. Hey, Sunday Night Live, huh?
The biggest
Yes, sir.
post-game show in the world.
Yeah.
The NFL.
Yeah.
There is none bigger than what me and Juju Gotti do every Sunday night around 7:30.
So you do it after the 4 o'clock games are done. You and
Right.
Juju, Sunday Night Live on the LeBatard YouTube channel.
Yep.
And what was the discussion after last night's games?
We had a lot of stuff. I mean, Lions got smacked. Juju is obviously a big Bills fan. He had some strong words for Sean McDermott. We were excited about Mahomes. There's a lot of good stuff in the NFL this week.
You know, it's interesting. I have no idea if the Bills are good. I have zero idea if the Bills are any good. And McDermott seems to get a pass all the time. Like that guy, Juju, that guy has had Josh Allen now as his quarterback and has yet to make a Super Bowl with one of the most talented top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And he should be on the hot seat. And I'm wondering, because he's beloved there in Buffalo. Because Buffalo hasn't been very good since Jim Kelly and all those guys. And this guy helped them, kind of get back to a place where they were relevant and really, really good and chances to make the Super Bowl. But they haven't done it yet. And so I would imagine, Juju, that today the conversation is, let's fire Sean McDermott.
Yeah, at least let's put a microwave under his seat. Let's get some seat warmers and put him under there because it gets cold in Buffalo.
Right.
And I'm not sure if he's numb or not. Because brother, we've been on the doorsteps of success too many times. At some point, we have to kick this door down. It can't be, oh well, they got Belichick. Oh, their offensive scheming is. Well, what are we gonna do about it? You keep approving these wacky deals. Our big signing this summer was Sherfield from Miami, who couldn't wait to get rid of his ass. We also approved a dome in Buffalo to come back. I wonder who signed off on that. No dome. We got an open roof coming in 2027. The future looks cold as hell, just like it is right now. I see Sean McDermott being a big piece of what goes wrong every single week. Now, they do got a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. We big Milano, big hurt. You feel me? We big hurt out there. But at the same time, we are losing games to inferior competition, and I feel like the coach usually should have something to say about that.
the tough part is too, like their offense is just cycled around Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Like if you put their 1-2 against other 1-2s in the league, they've got a top tier 1-2 with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs.
They're not 3.
They don't. Like Gabe Davis is not that guy.
It's Gabe Davis. No,
Occasionally, once every 7 games, it's Gabe Davis.
I
had
bet on
100
Gabe
yards.
Davis yesterday. It was a big mistake by me.
Did he have any catches? I didn't see.
I took him in our DraftKings fantasy because Stephon Diggs is so expensive, and I was like, you know what, this is going to be
worth it.
Well, the cheat code is the Dolphins were playing on Sunday night, so I couldn't pick Dolphins to just get me a ton of points. So I said, you know what, I'm going to believe in Josh Allen, even though, in the past I've been somewhat minor critical of him. I'm going to believe in the Bills today. I feel like they're going to run all over the Patriots and not end up happening. And Stephon Diggs is too expensive. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a flyer here. Gabe Davis. Maybe this is the game that he gets like a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards.
You said it was last week.
1 catch, 8 yards. For Gabe Davis.
Not good.
1 catch, but that's Gabe Davis.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
That is.
Exactly. So when you have those 2 guys, you figure, okay, this offense has a good foundation. And then you look across, James Cook hasn't really been that guy. They still have the ghost of Murray out there. Like,
he's not a ghost, but that's our best running back right now.
And that's the sad part.
I'd been different. The ghost of Murray. There's a ghost of an offensive line out there. That's every week.
True.
We're trying out Casper, the friendly ghost, and Ghost Dad. That's our lineman. They pass protect.
Your best running back ran 4 times for 8 yards yesterday, Latavius Murray.
Hey, he tough. I see it, and that go back to what we said earlier. The coaching. What are we doing? We got Bill Belichick out here. He taking away Stephon Diggs. Clearly, we got to get some other things going.
I spent some time yesterday thinking if Aaron Rodgers never went down, the Jets would be owning this division.
No.
Yes.
What do you mean? Right, Juju?
Yes, they would own the NFL. If Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt, the Jets would be the scariest team I have seen. Because look at them right now. They beat the Eagles last week.
Yep.
The Eagles just beat the Dolphins.
Yep.
They beat the Bills.
Yes.
The Bills beat the Dolphins.
Quality wins. Juju preach.
You feel me?
Yep. I do feel you. I spent some time thinking about that. The Jets are in the mix. I can't believe it without Aaron Rodgers.
They're 3-3 without Aaron Rodgers.
And they play the Giants coming up off a bye week.
And remember, Stu, at the beginning of the season, we were looking at their schedule saying, this is a tough 6-game stretch.
They got through it.
They got through it 3-3.
I know.
Without Aaron Rodgers. And now you look at the rest of their schedule and you're like, it's a lot of winnable games.
A lot of winnable games. Billy doesn't want to hear this.
I don't want to hear about
really
it.
doesn't.
Every day it's with the Jets. I just can't hear. I have Jets fatigue. I can't listen to the Jets anymore. Can I ask you guys a question? Because we haven't talked about this game. The Browns and the Colts.
Crazy game.
Highway robbery.
Gardner Minshew had one of the most absurd games
on my fantasy team.
Wow, good
pick
pick.
How many points did he get? How many points did he get?
Like 39 or
He
something
had
like
to
that.
have a guy on a bye.
Yeah.
He had the most absurd game of any quarterback ever. He had a great quarterback rating yesterday. You're like, okay, he didn't have a bad game, right? So then you start looking at his numbers. He had 305 yards passing. He had 2 passing touchdowns. He had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
But he also had an interception and 3 fumbles.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's called Myles Garrett, though.
Myles Garrett
It's called Myles Garrett.
He's insane.
Myles Garrett is insane.
Friend of the show.
It's incredible how he's 6'5" or 6'6" or whatever he is, 280 pounds, and moves around like Tyreek Hill.
He's 670.
He's enormous. Did you see him jump over the line?
He jumped over the line. He created all kinds of fumbles. The guy's a beast. He has more sacks than anyone else ever before the age of 28, which is a really weird stat that they kept flaunting in front of everybody yesterday.
Because they didn't start tabulating those stats until like recently, like
yes, until recently, yes.
Right, he picked Billy Gill up and walked off with him on the shoulder.
I forgot
That's
about
the stat of the year.
With a messed up toe at the time. That's how he was proving that he was
picked
healthy.
up like a feather, right? Like just
like a doll. And then he walked around, and then it was like one of those uncomfortable situations where it's like, is he ever going to put me down, or is this just my thing now? I'm just going to walk around on my
hold you like a boa, like a bow over your shoulder.
I thought I was going to go to the next interview that he had that day just on his shoulder.
They're
for
like,
the rest
here's
of the
Billy
day.
Gill. He's not going to say anything, but he's on Miles' shoulder.
It was so great. Minshew got me 38.1 points yesterday.
That's insane.
Just based on my league rules. But it is amazing, okay, that the Browns put up 39 points and their quarterback threw for 176 yards. Like,
and it was PJ Walker.
I mean,
What's the deal with Deshaun Watson?
how?
Hurt his shoulder, then re-aggravated his shoulder, but he's just not good.
Well, no. So like they just Stefanski said, you know what? I just don't want to send him back out because I want to protect the franchise quarterback that never plays.
Yeah.
Like, does he want to play? Does he not want to play? Like, I don't understand what's going on there. He has injuries, but like, it's kind of getting weird, right?
And when he does play, he's not good. Like, he throws balls where it's like, whoa, where was he going with that one? It's just a clear interception to the other team where you have no idea where he's throwing.
Juju, before we get to the Lions, Fuentes just said in my ear he needs to get to the Lions, and we will get to them. I think I said they were the best team in the NFL last week.
They had 6 yards in the first. They had 6 yards in the first quarter. Right?
Lions were 2 weeks ago.
They were terrible. They were terrible. They were so bad.
Mike, are you saying if I anoint you best team in the NFL, you're going to lose the following week?
Yeah, maybe you're the curse.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
The Stugotz best in the league.
I'm good with that. I'll just the Giants are the best team in the league.
Also, Jared Goff sucks.
All right, but Juju, Juju, you have
So
your
bad.
Eagles jersey.
So
But,
bad.
hey, we'll get to the Lions.
We'll get to the Lions in a second.
Juju, you have your Eagles jersey on. You have thoughts from last night's game. Should we be blaming the referees?
Yeah, it's fly Eagles fly. You know what I mean? They mentioned I'm a Bills fan. I'm also an Eagles fan because of my brother Leotis McKelvin. He was drafted by the Bills, and they shipped him to the Eagles because his house was getting TP'd and everything in Buffalo. So my heart is in both places. But it was a great win by the Eagles. They woke up. That offense woke up. If I hear the word touch push one more time, I'm gonna slap somebody. That's just a lot. Okay. But at the same time, them referees, they helped them a lot. I seen a couple holding calls. I called them live like Chris Cody does. I said holding, they didn't call it. Pass interference, they didn't call it. Face mask, no call.
Right.
So, and you take away add the fact that they didn't have Jaylen, cornerback, or Xavier. Not Jalen Waddle,
Ramsey.
My boy Jalen Ramsey. Jalen
right,
Ramsey
right.
and Xavier Howard.
Right.
So I think that game was more so. It was a lot about nothing. It was a good win for the Eagles, but when the Dolphins strengthen back up and get some real referees involved, they'll be in better shape.
How do you feel about the Kelly Green uniforms?
I loved them.
I did.
If I hear that word again one more time,
yeah, Juju did not like the Kelly Green.
Thank you so much.
I want top 5 words that if Juju hears one more time, he's going to beat the living hell out of somebody. Okay.
Yeah. Enough with the Kelly Greens. I don't know if you guys were watching like the morning coverage on ESPN. They did a whole piece about Princess Diana wearing an Eagles jacket.
Juju mentioned it yesterday.
Bro, Lord.
They're just green. They're just green. What's the big deal?
Uniforms. They were wearing Jets
everybody's
uniforms
like,
last
these are the
night,
hardest throwbacks. Why? They're just green.
The green on the helmet was tough.
No, who cares? They're just
What do
green.
you mean, no,
They're
who
just
cares?
green. They're just green.
They're not just green.
They tried it out. Princess Diana just rolling over
Rest
her
in peace,
in
by
her
the
grave,
way.
talking about some damn. She popularized these Philly jackets. Man, Randall Cunningham popularized it.
Thank you.
Mike Golick Sr. popularized
Yeah.
it. Reggie White popularized it.
Yeah,
Salute to Princess Diana. We love you. We love your family.
Yeah.
But ma'am, you might be a joker because they making you one.
Wow. Princess Diana's a joker.
People
I
are
love
making
this.
me
Put that
just
on
like
the poll.
Princess
I
Di.
love this.
Put it on the poll. Is Princess Di a joker?
She didn't know what the hell she was wearing. Okay,
That's
like,
true.
They went into this whole thing about how she got that jacket.
Just here,
It's
throw it
because
on.
someone that was like a statistician or whatever went there, and they were talking at some Princess of Monaco's funeral or some crap, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I really like the colors green and silver." Like, "Oh, let me send you this custom jacket," and then she wore it to pick up her kids. Enough with Princess Diana. They had on these royal experts to talk about the fact that she was wearing the jacket, and it was a giant. Yes, it was insane. It was a giant commercial just to tell us that Mitchell and Ness are starting to sell like replica jackets because they had one on set. It was an absurd waste of like 10 minutes where they had multiple royal experts talking about Princess Diana and how she was wearing that Eagles jacket, and then they started going down like, "Oh, well, they preserved all of her clothes and they had this stuff, but we don't know where the jacket is." Like, who gives a crap about this jacket? I'm telling you, it infuriated me. I was so over Kelly Green by the time that game started.
Better in sports than finding Billy's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just glad that Juju experienced it the same way I did because it's like, enough of Princess Diana. Enough of Princess
Diana. They're trying to out there trying to sell them jackets in England. That's what they're trying to do. We see the games over there. They're trying to push them jackets over there now.
Cloud chasing.
Try out the corpse of death.
It was
Princess
football
Diana.
and the Royals. That's what the Venn diagram for Billy, where he could just really just zone in.
But salute
So
to Princess
over the
Di,
Royal.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
Salute to her 1,000%.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Salute to her, but
what a
Rest in
straight
power.
show. I mean,
Bo Nix
It gets
is
weirder
40.
every week, honestly.
Bo Nix is what?
Bo Nix is 40.
no, that's not what I heard.
That's crazy. That was a crazy thing that Mikey A said.
Oh my god.
Dude, he said that Bo Nix and Cam Newton played on that same college team at
It's so
Auburn.
funny. It's
For
great.
real?
No, it's not true.
I believe it. It add up to me.
It's believable.
Oh, where did he come from?
Yes.
All right, Billy's Big Board brought to you by somebody next.
I think the place we have to start, Stugotz, is a lightning round of Stroud, Richardson, Young.
Okay.
Now, some people might say, how do you play this game? Because C.J. Stroud was off. Bryce Young was off. Richardson's out for the year. How do you guys feel about those black helmets that the Colts had yesterday.
Love the black
them.
helmets.
Yeah, Juju, you like the helmets too?
Absolutely love them.
I did too. I saw people being critical of the Colts helmet and of the Stugotz. Maybe don't wave your hand right in front of the camera. That's quite distracting for the audience at home.
Well, I'm having some technical issues with my headset, so I'm hoping Fuentes can come in here and help me out.
It's
That's
okay.
all. Right.
So anyway, also they had I like the jerseys. I thought the jerseys were kind of fire too. I saw them like zoom in on them and they were like not just blue. They had a little something going on. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so we're gonna play Stroud, Richardson, or Young, and you guys are probably wondering how can you do this? None of them played because the winner of Stroud, Richardson, Young yesterday was Tyson Bagent.
I like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Special Bagent. Yeah.
First time CJ Stroud doesn't win this game, Tyson Bagent won it.
He had 65 people from his family at the game.
That had a recipe for disaster written all over it, but then you remember Brian Hoyer starting for the other team, so
in 2023
neutralized it. I can't believe that he's still in the NFL. It seems insane.
Neither can Devontae Adams believe it.
Oh, poor Devontae
The first 7 passes went directly to Devontae Adams, by the way. They were like, I'm going to throw this guy the ball every single time. I don't care.
Poor Devontae Adams. Anyways, so should we get to Mike Fuentes' top 5? He's not there, so let's not get to Mike Fuentes' top 5. Should we get to Stugotz' top 5 question marks for the week?
Yeah, my headsets are fixed.
There we go.
Very good. I love this show. Top 5 question marks in the NFL. These are teams. I have no idea if they're good or not.
Oh,
Okay, so teams
these
or players?
Teams.
Teams, okay,
Teams.
gotcha.
All right.
No idea if they're good or not.
Okay.
Here is number 5, 4, 3, 2. The AFC North.
Wow.
No idea if any of those teams are good.
Okay, so any order, just put them in an order. It doesn't matter.
Do you know if any of those teams are good?
I think the Ravens are good.
You think,
have
but
no
you
clue.
don't know if the Ravens are good. That's my point.
Juju and I said last night the Ravens could be 7-0, and we would be talking
Yes,
about
they
them as a
could.
great team.
Right.
But they're 5-2. They lost that game to Pittsburgh inexplicably, and right now we're like, are they a good team? They just destroyed the Lions 38-6.
The Ravens.
It wasn't inexplicably, though. It wasn't inexplicably. Lamar Jackson threw the ball
threw
right
an
to the
interception.
Pittsburgh guy. So, explicable.
It is explicable. You're right.
The Ravens are, I feel like every year they're the same team.
Yeah.
Where you're like, this team is really, really good. And then you're like, I don't really know anything about this team.
Yes.
Like
Right.
last night, after last night's game, there's people that are saying the Ravens are the best team in the AFC.
No.
How do you
I
say
don't know.
that?
No.
I don't know. I never know. if
But
they're
that's
good
the
or
NFL
not.
because the last week the team they beat, the Lions, were the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And one of the best, or maybe the best team in the NFC. Okay, so now the Ravens have gone to kind of like a middle of the pack team in the NFL to the best team in the AFC.
Right.
They're not. They're not.
They're just not. Okay.
They're not. No.
They have Odell Beckham running out 3 catches for 35 yards. Like they're
Right.
not the best team when that's your number 2 or number
They're
three.
not. Kansas City is the clear best team in the AFC right now. Last week it was the Dolphins, but that's football. That's why I love it.
that
That's
is
why we
football.
all love it.
No, he's right
yes.
about that.
Yep.
Okay, so that was 5-2.
Yeah, that was 5, 4, 3, 2. The Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals in no particular order.
Throw
I
'em in
think the Bengals might be good. I have no idea. Number 1 is Buffalo. No idea.
Okay.
No idea if they're good. They could win the Super Bowl. They could not make the playoffs, and their coach
4-3
gets
right
fired.
now.
Yeah.
I have OLI for your list.
Okay.
I do know this person is not good.
Who?
Desmond Nathaniel Ritter. Please, he will find a way to lose your game. It doesn't matter if he has it. All he has to do is cross the goal line. He will lose it for you some kind of way.
What happened with him yesterday and
A
the
lot
fumbles?
A lot of things.
Have you
happen.
seen a fumble that bad where he just like thinks he's strolling into the end zone for a touchdown and the defender just goes and catches up to him and knocks it out and then it's a touchback?
That's one of the fumbles he had. Then he also fumbled the snap at the 2-yard line. That cost them
He
another
did everything
piece of that.
possible to lose that game that they
Yes,
ended up
every
winning.
week.
That's what he
This
does
is
every
every
week.
week.
Yeah,
It's
to Juju's
crazy.
point.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
All right, we have to get to Billy's Big Board Bets brought to you by.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Are we doing that right now?
Well, we're just
Wow, it's
listen.
early.
This
Okay.
segment, Tony's
Lazy
right.
River.
It's called cramming stuff in.
Yep.
And-
I know, but we have time. I mean, we're flying through these segments. Normally we get to this with like 90 seconds left.
We still have Fuentes' top 5.
Let's do his. Let's do his
To
top
be,
five.
to
Okay.
be fair, I didn't know that Stu's going to take literally 20 seconds. I thought he was going to be like
Well,
evaluation.
yeah,
that's
I
also
told
fair,
you
too.
about it
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
He didn't tell me the
Bad
teams. He just
producing
told me it
by
was top
Fuentes.
5. Usually top 5 questions need answers. And
You
then
want a
needed-
breakdown?
I would have preferred
Does
it. But
Chris Cody know if his BBBBB picks last week how they went,
He
or
has
did he
no
not
idea
even
what
follow?
they're
Chris, do
They
you know
did
if he
not
went?
go well.
He has
they
no
did
idea
not
what
go
this
well.
They did not go well.
apparently it's called Chris's concepts now. And then
Chris's concept?
yeah,
does
because
that
Chris
mean?
doesn't mean
Chris's can't miss concepts.
You know, you had an M in there, though.
But do you know what the word concept means?
Can't hear you. I don't think I did well.
It's an extra C, can't hear you.
M.
Triple C's.
M in there somewhere.
I don't understand what the concept is.
I don't know.
They're bets.
Like
It's a
Billy's
board.
big
Winning.
board bets is all B's.
Yeah.
Right.
Concept can't miss.
But there's
concept.
a big board of bets.
Yeah.
versus
Brought to you
can't
by-
misses. I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Okay, Mike Fuentes
He was doing a thing with the C's.
has a top 5. Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, we get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do this so fast. Okay, one
fast.
We have time.
Yeah, I know, but
Take your time.
We gotta do the big bets boards and
Take it slow.
Right.
Okay,
But Billy, you have a dry erase board where you have to erase and then rewrite a new
Correct.
bet. Right? Okay, that takes time though.
Yeah, I know.
He's been
I'm a
good with
pro.
it
He's a
before.
pro,
Thank
guys.
you.
He's a
Thank
pro.
you.
Sorry.
He's been good with it.
Thank you.
Apologies.
Okay, I have one
Sorry,
OLI, and it's Mike Evans, Canton, collision course.
What is this? Just top 5 things?
Top five.
This
It's
is your
just
show.
top
I don't
5 things.
know.
Yeah, top 5 things.
Top
I
five
should
things.
really start talking to people before we
looking
just
at
go
me.
live
Yeah.
with stuff. You
Okay,
know?
number 5. The Steelers are 4-2. How? I don't get it. I don't know how they're 4-2.
Yeah.
I don't get this.
Yeah.
Pickett's not that good.
Yeah, I want the officials from Sunday night's game investigated.
Okay.
We already went over that. That's why that's not good to do now.
Right.
What number we by?
We're on 3. Coming up on 3.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We've done OLI 5, 4. Gotcha.
Yeah. Number 3. The Bears have a quarterback.
They did.
He looked really good. He was efficient. It wasn't like
He
a lot of
looked
yards.
really good.
He did look good.
He did look good.
For a guy who never played, Division II kid from West Virginia. I mean, yeah.
He won the Division II Heisman.
I think
They
he has
said
the
that during broadcast,
NCAA.
There's a
11 times.
D2 Heisman.
and he
I
has
don't
the
know.
most touchdown passes in like NCAA history, like for all the divisions.
Okay.
Which is
Do you know it off the top of your head? Or
The
no?
Harlan
because I saw
Hill
the same
Trophy.
package you did.
The Harlan Hill Trophy.
There you go.
He won the Harlan.
Yeah.
He won the Harlan.
I like the Harlan better than the Heisman.
The Harlan
actually.
ceremony.
It's not a great looking trophy.
It isn't?
No. It looks like something you would get at
yeah.
a trophy store.
It looks like a fantasy football championship.
Yeah, that you get at a trophy store.
Got like
Not
a big
great.
football on it, and you're like,
Yeah.
I can annoy my wife with this. Perfect.
Got a bowler
right next to
on
the
it.
bowling trophy. Yeah, like I got it right.
Guys, this trophy goes
We
back.
ran out of football guys. Put the bowler on it.
It goes all the way to 1986. So
They say the Heisman Trophy winner's never good in the NFL, but the Harlan Trophy winner.
You may need to investigate, Billy.
I'm trying to see a single winner of
Is
this. that
Tyson
I've heard.
Badgett the best Harlan Trophy winner in the NFL?
He won it in 2021.
Did Carson Wentz ever win a Harlan Trophy?
What's John Machota up to? Matocha.
Are you going through past winners?
Oh, Danny Woodhead won it.
Really?
Twice, back to back. Wow, Danny Woodhead, 2006 and 2007
Really? He's
winner.
like Archie Griffin of
He's
D2.
the best right now.
Yeah.
Best Harlan winner of all time.
There's a guy named Dusty Boner that won it back to back also.
Oh,
Salute the DB.
He's a hard man to bring down.
hey!
Wow.
What position did you play?
I don't know. It doesn't. Oh, QB.
Would have been funnier if he was like a.
Maybe it's Bonner.
I heard his acceptance speech was a bit stiff.
They already said he's hard
And
to
a little
bring
dry?
down. They
No, but
already-
the stiff is good. I like that one. It was a bit stiff. That's good.
well, gang, we were doing great on time, but now we're running low on time
He's
again.
got
and we
two
haven't
more,
gotten
I think.
to the top
Two more,
five.
yeah.
Number 2, the Colts black helmets. I don't know if I
Right.
like them.
Wow, we just covered that.
Kind of a bad take. Go ahead.
Well,
Terrible take.
Tony and me were talking about it here, and it should have been all black.
All
like
black
all
Colts
black.
would have been
The
super
Colts,
nice.
like
Right.
the horseshoe blue. That would have been
Yeah.
nice.
They should have done it all black with the horseshoe black also.
Ooh, like a matte black.
That would have been
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that would have been good. Yeah.
Anyways.
Wow, you bested
Stay
me.
tuned.
Number 1. We already went over this a bunch. Enough of the National Tight End Day.
Oh yeah, national
know.
tight end.
I
was
should have
so
bet. I should have
over
bet more tight end overs.
Yeah,
And
well-
anytime tutties, I should have bet
Were the
that.
tight ends getting fed yesterday?
Dude, oh
They
my
were.
god, like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I don't think it was intentional. I think they were just being thrown to a normal amount of time.
Yeah,
but they
just-
made sure to highlight every single play by a tight end yesterday. Annoying.
Yeah, Hansen must have said National Tight End Day like 50 times.
40 times. He had
All
a
right.
T-shirt too.
Guys, it's time for Billy's Bets Big Boards brought to you by these. Again, I'm not in a sports gambling state, but if I was, these are bets that I may be inclined to place myself.
Okay.
All right, number 1. Kirk Cousins, over 238.5 yards tonight
Really?
passing.
I like it. Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling.
Interesting.
Yep. First ballot Hall of Famer.
That's what I'm
Yep.
saying. First ballot
Against a
Hall of
really
Famer.
good San Francisco defense on Monday
Right.
night in prime time.
It
Yep.
has been a while since he has not thrown that many yards. I'm feeling good about that one.
like that.
And you know
Okay.
that I'm a big Kirk Cousins
So he's
guy.
due.
Naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is the point where Billy's writing the next bet on the
Oh,
big board
gotcha.
because the big board's not big enough.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah.
The next one, I wrote it very quickly, Stugotz. Kirk Cousins, over 1.5 touchdowns tonight.
Billy expecting
Vikings
a big
day.
Vikings
Yeah.
night tonight. Wow. This
Yeah.
is great.
I saw that the
Right.
Minnesota Vikings are the only team to have 14 touchdowns and 0 rushing touchdowns since like I don't know when, like 2000 something. They haven't had a rushing touchdown this entire season, which is bad for Madison.
Since Cam Newton and Bo Nix were teammates.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Hey, salute to Alexander Madison.
Way to bring it full circle, Mikey A.
Hold on a second.
Close the loop.
All right, my
Billy, you get
final
20
one
seconds.
here.
Hold on
Yeah.
a second. What is it?
The Vikings plus 6.5.
Wow.
This guy's crazy.
I
wacky.
I was gonna do the 49ers minus 6.5, but just to throw you guys off. But I started seeing they haven't won that many games by 6.5 points.
Who, the 49ers?
Yeah.
Right. Can I add an OLI to your
That's not true, actually.
BBBBBs?
Please do it quick.
Osborne over 4 catches tonight. 4 catches. He will catch 4 catches.
All right.
Boom.
All right. There it
Put
is.
that down.
We love the Vikings.
I think my stat was wrong.
No idea if
God
they're
bless
good.
football.
God bless football, everyone.